Hey everybody, welcome back to Harmon Garage. Today we're going to get back on Project Longstep 73 Chevy C10. As you see on the update in the last video, we got the core support, the radiator, the AC condenser, and brake booster and some of that other stuff on. Today we're going to be installing the vintage air and possibly the steering column. I'm waiting on one more part to come in for the steering column, and I don't know if it's going to be here before we get done with this video. But my buddy that's doing the body and paint work for me, he's got the front fenders done and the inner fenders done, and they're here. I'm trying to get as much under the hood, on the core support, firewall stuff done as I can, so that I'm not spending a lot of time leaning over the fenders because they're new, and just take the chance of fault out of it, not having to lean over them as much. So once I get the vintage air and a few other things, the wiper motor, a few other things in, I should be able to put the inner fenders and the fenders on and kind of start putting the front end together. And the only thing I should have to do under the hood is the wiring harness, and I need the fenders in to run the wiring harness. So today we're going to do the vintage air and try to knock out a couple other little things to get it ready to where we can put the fenders and stuff on. So grab a snack, get something to drink, and we'll take a ride. All right everybody, we're working on this vintage air system in the 73 C10 Project Longstep, and as you can see in the update in the last video, I already have the condenser and dryer on, and we're working on installing the rest of it now. So I'm gonna kind of show you guys the system, show you what needs to be done, and then we'll do the work, and then we'll show the rest of it. So this is the unit that goes under the dash, and when you open the box, it's just this center part here. So you have to install this bracket, which mounts to the underside of the dash, install this bracket, which mounts to the firewall. Then you put on your two heater core lines, your wet line, and your suction line. And it all goes together fairly easy. The directions say that you put this bracket on and then put these lines on, but if you do that, you can't get wrenches in here to tighten these lines up. So I had that bracket on and off probably 2 or 3 times, and what I found is if you take this bracket and slide it over these and then put your lines on, then just let that bracket hang loose and kind of bend it, not bend it, but move it out, and take your wrenches and tighten these fittings up right here. Then put your bolts in for this bracket. That's the easiest way to do it, because the way it says to do it in the instructions does not work. So save you a little bit of time. Leave this loose, tighten those lines up, and then tighten up the bracket. So next thing we got is we painted it to match, so you're really gonna have to look to see it, but there's this plate right here. It's got 2 or 3 holes that line up with factory holes in the firewall. So you get it up there, line it up with your holes, put a couple screws in it, and then I'm gonna go back with a drill out the rest of the holes, and then I'll take that plate back off and put a bead of silicone kind of back here by the screws, just a really small bead, so that when I tighten it down, it doesn't squish out the sides, because you don't want to see it, but you want it to be sealed here. I might even run and see if I can find some like double-sided 3M tape or something to use as a sealer instead of silicone, because I think that'll work better. So I'm gonna go ahead and drill the rest of these holes that don't have screws in them, and then when we get ready to put the box in the truck, I'll bring you guys back and show you what we got. Okay, I got all my holes drilled in the firewall, and I went ahead and got some 3M double-sided tape. I'm gonna use that for a seal. And then we got the firewall insulation. I had to pull some stuff that I already had in back out so I could get it on. But I had to get it in there before I put the vintage air in. So slowed me down a little bit, but I got that in. I'm gonna go ahead and get that plate on, and then we'll get that vintage air box slammed up in there. All right, I got the vintage air unit all ready to go in. I got my plate and everything on the firewall. I got my bolts stuck through. So everything on this side is ready to go. And my arms aren't quite long enough to reach in there and hold the box and start the bolts from this side. So I just called up a buddy of mine. He's going to swing over and help me, and we'll get it bolted up, and then I'll give you guys another update. All right, we got our plate all in. Got the final mounting done on that. And we got our box up in here mounted. And then there's a bracket right here. And it goes up, and you drill 2 3/16 holes up here, and it comes with screws provided in the kit. You put screws in. So now our box is mounted. Next thing we have to do down here on the bottom, there's a drain hose. And then we've got rubber grommets that we have to put in where all the lines come through the firewall. I also got the control panel put in. It's real simple to install. You take the 4 screws that come with it and screw it into the 4 holes where the factory one screwed in. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep going on this, and then I'll update you and let you know what we got going on next. Okay, well, we've made a little bit of progress. I went ahead and threw the inner fender in because I wanted to run these heater hoses and the AC lines along the inner fender so that I could kind of tie them down, keep them off the motor, and make them look clean. So I put the inner fender in. I went ahead and ran my heater hoses. I had to order another fitting to go here for it to hook up, but I'll just throw that in and hook it up. As far as my AC lines go, I'm having those custom made. I didn't want to order the hose kit because this setup, if you look in the instructions and whatnot, it's for a top mount compressor that goes on the other side of the motor, and that didn't work with the serpentine kit that we bought. So we bought the compressor that goes with the serpentine kit. So there'll be a bunch of extra hose all over the place and all that. So I want it to look clean and neat. So we're just gonna go ahead and make our own hoses. And I've got those ordered. We're waiting on those. As far as the wiring goes, I'm gonna wire the whole truck all together. So you just plug in the control panel, and then there's another wiring harness that plugs in also, and that's got all your other wiring that you need for the system on it. And they plug in right down here. Probably can't see it. So the next thing we're gonna do is modify the glove box, and I'm gonna do a little video and show you guys how to do that. And then we gotta go in and put our ducting on, and I'm gonna put the ducting on the box, but I don't have my dash pad and trim panel in yet. I don't have my bezel in yet, so there's not really anything to hook the hoses to. So I'm just gonna kind of get the length for them, cut them, and then I'll put them on the box and run them behind the dash. And then when I get more stuff in, we'll be able to hook those up. So there will be a little bit of a continuation later on in another video of the little things to finish up the vintage air. But we've pretty much gone as far as we're gonna go with it on this one. I'm gonna show you guys how to modify that glove box, and then I'm gonna show you how to hook up the ducting, and then we'll move on to something else. Okay, so this is a factory glove box insert. I got it off the door right now because we painted the door, and the original one was actually broken where it mounts down here. But I had another one, so we're going to clean it up and use it. But this is what the inside of the glove box looks like. The vintage air kit comes with this template, this piece, and a whole handful of these little clips. So essentially what we're doing is we're taking a big chunk off the back of this glove box, and then we're going to clip that piece onto it, because this won't fit in there with the vintage air box, it'll hit it. So we got to make the glove box shorter. So we're just going to cut this template out. Alright, we got our template. We're going to take it and put it on our box here where it lines up. And then we're going to grab something that'll mark on this black plastic. I got silver pencils. So go ahead and mark that. Then you take the template in here. Pretty much line it up the same way, but on the inside, because this has this extra kick out. So line that up in there. We'll make our mark in here on this side. So we got our mark in there, got our mark on that side. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut down this line and this line, and then I'll go back here and I'll use a straight edge in between those two lines and mark those, and then I'll cut it across the bottom, because having one mark on the outside, one mark on the inside, it's kind of hard to make your mark. So it'll be easier for me to just cut both lines. Then we'll mark the other one and cut the rest. I'm going to use this little air jigsaw. Sometimes it works for me, sometimes it's a pain in the butt, so we'll see what happens. Like I said, sometimes it works, sometimes it's a pain. Today it wants to be a pain, so we'll try something else. Really didn't want to use a cut-off wheel because it's plastic and basically just melts it, but we're going to anyways. Okay, the compressor came on and it's really loud, so I paused you guys for a minute. Went ahead and got this, finished cutting this, let the compressor turn off. So go ahead, and I'm just ripping off as much of the little melted plastic stuff as I can. There we go. Alright, that's most of it. If you guys go to do this, you might come up with a better way to cut it. You might have a little jigsaw or something that cuts better than mine does. The cut-off wheel just worked out the best for me for right now. So I'm going to grab a piece of sandpaper, clean all this up, and then I'll show you how to put the attachment on. Okay, so I went ahead and sanded this down, took some glass cleaner, cleaned it all up good. So this piece sits right on here like so, and then it's got these little clips that clip onto it and hold it together. It looks like this new piece is a little bit bigger than the original box, so you can kind of pinch it together. So these clips are S-shaped, so you want to make sure when you put them on that you put them on the right way. Just take them, slide them on here like so, and then slide them onto there. I'm going to go ahead and take these and put them all on here first, and then we'll and then I'll stick it to that. So I'm gonna get this all done up, and then I'll show you the finished product. Okay, so I got all my clips put on all the way around, and there's the altered glove box. It shortened it up quite a bit. So I'll get this mounted back to the glove box door when it comes back from paint, and then we can throw that in. But that's another step in the vintage air installation. I want to show you guys how to do it. So move on to the next thing. Okay, so I got the ducts ran for the defrosters. Got the wiring harness in here and plugged in. I got my wires for my controller plugged in. And I'm not gonna run the ducting for the other vents until I get ready to put the other vents in, because otherwise it's just gonna be a whole bunch of stuff laying there in the way and getting away and whatnot. So, but that's the gist of installing the vintage air. I appreciate everybody watching. We're getting a lot more subscribers. I'm still trying to get to 1,000 by the first of the year. We're getting close, but we're not quite there. So if you're watching the video and you're not subscribed, might as well, right? So that's going to do it for this video. Y'all have a good one, and we'll see you next time.